Starting off this video over here with Westbo.
What's up?
It's time to get the G-body rolling. We got to figure out where we're going to mount the Dominator. Honestly, your best bet might just be just to mount it to the firewall.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll just mount it to the firewall. We can mount it up there. We'll make a little mount for it and then have everything plug in, and then we'll tuck all the wires out the way. Or does your glove box still work?
No.
Do we not have it?
I think I have the glove box somewhere.
We can mount it in the glove box, or we can just mount it behind it and close it, and then it'll be out the way. But I think we'll just do it like that. Just because I imagine, I mean, we want to make it streetable to the point that we don't want it just have shit all over the place.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, that's the plan. We're down to it on Wes's car. Got to really just start mounting and doing some of the wiring. So we're going to get that knocked out really the week after we get back from Snowbirds. But welcome back to another video. It is a frigid evening here in the LS Nasty headquarters, and we are talking about, I'm probably going to finish this video tomorrow because I'm going to assemble this bottom end. But this is the junkyard. Sorry, well, we're not going to call it junkyard. This is a barn find. Legitimate barn find. Pulled it out of a barn. Just, it was sitting in there, getting better with age, like a fine wine, and here we are. So, got this short block here. It is a 408. 1,000 horsepower deal. You guys hear me talk about the 1,000 horsepower stuff? I told people, I didn't try to be misleading, but I made a 1,000 horsepower motor for $1,000. How long it lasts? Not long, to be honest with you. But this is something that's going to last. This is almost identical setup to what I have in the cow. So this is your, I would say, your baselines. If you guys are wanting to get into the LS stuff, you want to make 1,000 horsepower, this is what you need. Stock block, stock heads. That's it. You don't need to go and get aftermarket heads. You don't need to go and get an aftermarket block if you're looking to make 1,000 horsepower. Like 999.9 or 1,005 or 1,020. This is what you need. You need a stock block. Now, the aluminum stuff is nice, but it's going to be more expensive. This is an iron block, like a 6-liter out of a truck. It has a K1 4-inch stroke crankshaft, very basic stuff. So K1 4-inch stroke crank, K1 H-beam rods, which are like your basic. You can do the K1, you can do the Cali's Comstar, you could do the Texas Speed. I'd stay away from the Eagle stuff, just because the Eagle stuff is, for some reason, it's not the same. Even the Texas Speed stuff, you know, Texas Speed, Cali's Comstar, K1, they're all in the same price range. So 4-inch stroke crank, again, you can do the Comstar, K1, Texas Speed, they're all good. I got a Texas Speed crank in the cow, works great, make some big power. Got Comstar rods in there, make some big power. Definitely over the threshold that I'd recommend, but it's my own shit, so I'll do it. And then some White Scope pistons, just their basic stuff. This piston here is a little bit too aggressive for what I'm trying to do, so I'm going to put a, I have the option to run different cylinder heads. You got the 243s and the 799s, those are like the big ones that everyone loves, but I'm going to put a set of 317s on this engine because it has the largest chamber. I'm actually going to take them up to Kevin at TKM, and he's going to chamber soften them to drop compression. If you're going to do, you know, the 1,000 horsepower deal, I kind of stick to like the same stuff on all my builds. Decent compression, so we're talking about like 10.5 to 1 to 11. This one's a little bit higher than I want to, so that's why chamber soften. We're going to open up the chamber, make it a bigger CC cylinder head to drop compression. So you want to be in that 10.5 to 11 on E85, you know, pump E, Bosch 210 injectors, and then you want to have a healthy size turbo cam and obviously a turbo. If you're trying to make, you know, that 1,000 horsepower mark, twin turbos, I'd recommend 66s. Single turbos, a nice 88 TDI, force inductions, hit those guys up, they'll get you in there. But Try to keep it as basic and simple as possible. So over here I got some stuff that I think are key components to making this happen. One, you got to have a multi-layer head gasket. These are a GM LS9 head gaskets. So, COVID. If you have a 5.3 or 5.7, you need to run 5.3/5.7 5.3/5.7 multi-layer head gaskets. If you're gonna run a 6-liter or 6.2, you can get the LS9, which they'll say right on there. Now, guys, don't put these on a 5.3. Just don't. Keep it right. This is one thing. Spend a little money. It's like $70 for an LS9 head gasket. If you're running a 6-liter, just do it. ARP head studs, very important. Got those on here. You want to have a good cylinder head clamp. That's very important. A good oil pump. Melling 10355 is the part number that I use. Write this shit down. Your head studs are going to be specific to your block, whether it's an LS3 block or whether it's a Gen 4 or Gen 3. So your head studs, make sure you go with ARP. Don't get no Chinese stuff. Just spend the money, get some ARP stuff. ARP Head Stud Kit, make sure you get them for the right, whether it's Gen 3, Gen 4, or if it's an LSA, or if it's an LS3, make sure you get the right head studs. Milling 10355 is your part number that you want. That's what I like. There's other part numbers out there. There's other ones. I think that's just the high volume. They have high volume, high pressure. Put this shit in everything. Works great. ARP 3-bolt cam kit. On some of the newer stuff, it's got a single cam bolt. So when you switch over to a aftermarket camshaft, it's a 3-bolt style flange. So you have to have a 3-bolt cam gear. So I got new cam gear, new timing chain, push rods. These are paired with your valve springs in Trunnion upgrades. So we'll get into the valve train area. Dual 660 valve springs. If you plan on making a little bit more power, that 1300 horsepower, BTR sells a 685 kit. Trunnion upgrade. Big camshaft, turn some RPMs. Highly recommend having a Trunnion upgrade. The stock rocker arms, as you can see, they're capped on their range of motion. If I could pull this guy out. Right there and right there. Capped. You bust one of those out, you have like 32 needle bearings on each side that go through your entire motor. Pain in the ass. Push rods. These little Johnnies ain't gonna do it. So you get some, if you're not milling the heads or doing anything like that, 7400 push rods are the way to go. Other than that, lifters. Oh, lifters. Listen, guys, don't skimp out on your lifters. They're expensive right now, but you need to get GM LS7 genuine lifters. Do not go and get some Chinese knockoffs. Don't do it. They don't work. GM LS7s or Johnson lifters. Don't mess with anything else.
What do you mean genuine?
Genuine. What else? What'd I miss? I feel like I gave a pretty good breakdown.
That's pretty solid.
I got ripped off on this because Logan didn't give me a cam retainer plate. So I got to get a cam retainer plate and cam retainer plate bolts. Always getting ripped off by Logan. What else is there? I got a lamb cam, T-cam lamb cam, very good camshaft. Awesome. Look at the man's calling me right now. Your ears must be burning.
What?
I'm just talking shit on you.
I'm sure.
That's pretty much a basic overview. I was talking about how you ripped me off. No cam retainer plate, no cam retainer plate bolts.
No cam.
No cam. I got my own cam. But ARP main studs. Oh, also, yeah. When you do this, get a set of ARP main studs. Do not use the factory main studs.
I haven't even sold it to you yet.
Oh.
Wow.
How have I ripped you off?
Wow. You hear
He's
this?
pulling out of the deal now.
Yeah, he is pulling out. Before I turned the camera on, Logan was he's trying to take it back.
Is it half-inch head studs at least?
No half-inch head studs.
Price is coming down.
Also,
I'm tired of hearing about
Look at this. Look at this. The fork on the one of the teeth on the bucket of the Bobcat nicked it here. So
Whose
it's
fault?
You were the Bobcat operator.
No.
You better O-ring this thing now.
I know. I have to. So, yeah, I just got phone. Kevin Mullins just called me. Guys, I'm not gonna lie. When I bring some stuff up to Kevin, sometimes it's pretty rough. So he was like, "Why do you keep bringing me these heads?" He doesn't complain and say. He's just like, do you let everyone know the condition of these when I bring them up? When you bring them up here, and I'm like, no, I didn't tell anyone. And I brought him a nasty set of heads.
Let's go over here and check out our pile of heads.
Oh, no, it's just dark over there in that corner.
Draw from.
We gave him the best set of heads that we had, but they're still terrible by standards. Like,
get your
Those things had not seen the light of day, I bet, in probably 2 years.
oh god, no. Well, they haven't seen the light of day because they're covered in dirt and grime and oil. But Kevin's got the cylinder heads up there. So what we're going to do in the next clip, I'm going to come in tomorrow and I'm going to start to assemble this. I need to stop by RPM Motorsports in the morning, get a cam retainer plate and cam retainer plate bolts. We'll get the cam slid in there. To green a cam on one of these is like the dummy proof. I say that, I'll put it in wrong. Watch. But we'll get everything slapped in here. We'll get it all put together, and then we're gonna wait for the head. So we'll do the bottom end. We'll put the cam in there. We'll put the lifters in there, the lifter trays. Get everything where it's all nice and neat and put together. And then when we get the heads back from Kevin, which will probably be next week once we get back from Florida, we'll slap that on, and then we'll have our complete 1,000 horsepower setup. So let's just talk price real quick, because everybody wants to know. You guys can pick up something like this with all the machine work, Pistons, rods, crank, everything in there for about what? 4,000, 4,500 in today's market. So you're in 4,500 bucks. Let's just say $500 for a camshaft. So you're in for $5,000 right out the gate, and then that's when you really get nickel and dimed to death, just because you need to have some good parts. So you guys with your notepad out, you guys are going to have to keep a total, because I can't math on the fly like this. Cam gear, I don't know. I have an invoice somewhere.
I was about to say, why don't we just get the invoice out?
Because I'll forget. Cam gear, timing chain, you need to have those. I like to put new ones on there. ARP head studs, you're in like, what, 300 bucks. Head gaskets, you're in $75 a piece.
The bolts are $225. The head studs are a little more than that.
Yeah, I think they're like 300 and some. Right now, like the market is just crazy. So right now for a set of lifters, you're in like 400 bucks for a set of GML7 lifters.
You can go El Chinese on the studs.
I don't trust them.
Okay, Phil.
Yeah, I don't trust them.
Phil says
I don't trust.
$100.
I don't know.
$100.
I don't know. So you're in about 400 for the lifters. You're in 300 for the valve springs. You're in like $200 for Trunnion Upgrade. You're in $150 for push rods. And then trying to think of what else. You got to get an ICT billet. Valley cover, $37. Ask me why I know. Front cover, rear cover.
You mentioned oil pump.
Oil pan, yeah. Oil pump, 180 bucks.
40 bucks for front and rear cover.
For I think they're more. Maybe if you get them from Arp Head. Some of them, depending on what you're doing now, you also have to pay attention to cam gear and crank sensor. Some of them are a 2-pole, some of them are a 4-pole cam gear, and we'll have the cam sensor on the front cover. That one's like 120 bucks. So you really gotta think about it a little bit. Go on. 40 bucks, yeah.
I got a whole stack of them.
If you guys need them, hit up Logo. That's where all the front covers are.
That's like the guys on the LS pages selling like the stock truck intakes.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna come in tomorrow, which will be the same day for you. It's just gonna be like a second from now, and we'll get the bottom end put together on this thing, throw the cam in there, and start chipping away on it, get it done. I need to order an oil pan before I can put it in there, so we'll get that order before we go to Florida. So when we get back from Florida, we'll slap the cylinder heads on there. But I would say for $7,000, you can go out there and make 1,000 horsepower to the ground. Now, everyone wants to know, like, oh, how fast is that going to go? How fast is that going to go? For example, the Boosted Rooster made 814 horsepower. It went like 540s, 530s at like 3,800 pounds. 800 horsepower. Yeah. So you get one that's putting a true 1,000 horsepower to the ground in a car a little bit lighter, maybe 3,300 pounds, 3,200 pounds. You're in that bottom 5-second range. All right, guys, this is your official warning. That price of $7,000 is the do-it-yourself price. So it's also do it at your own risk price. That's like, you might have a rod sling out the block, but you're prepared for that because you'll put another one together. If you want something done right with no questions asked, I probably recommend going to TCAM Performance and getting one of their packages. But if you want to risk it, like life on the edge, and potentially sling a rod out of it, if you don't know what you're doing, you'll learn the way I did, and that's by sending some rods out the block. If you got the budget, go to TCAM and keep all the rods in the block and keep racing. But, you know, sometimes you got to send one out the block to learn your lesson. Going pretty quick. Now, if you have your whole setup right, you got to have your converter right, your gear ratio right, and everything to be optimized to go as fast as you can. But I would say, you know, 1,000 horsepower motor, in a decently light car with a setup. It'll get you very close to the 4-second range.
Enough for you to poke your eye out with.
Yeah. You got your eye patch ready, bud? You're next.
Oh, yeah, his motor is almost identical to that one.
His motor is identical to that one. Literally all the same shit. But Wes put it together before inflation happened, and he put it together so cheap it's honestly disgusting. How much money do you have in your entire motor?
God.
Maybe like $4 grand.
Yeah.
Maybe.
45, yeah.
Whole thing decked out.
Yeah. I did that, like 2 years ago, right before all this stuff started, like,
Yeah.
everybody was looking for parts.
Yeah. Wes got it done good, so.
He get to buy this round. John Doc got to buy this round.